Welcome back to Fox Explainer. Today, I'll show you the 2021 action drama film, Old Henry. Spoilers ahead. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Watch out and take care. In 1906, Brannigan is trying to get away from Dugan, Stillwell, and Ketchum, who are all wearing sheriff badges. No matter how fast Brannigan runs, he will still be shot and caught. Ketchum kicks him a few times and asks where they've been looking for another man, but Brannigan won't tell. This makes Ketchum want to tie Brannigan to a horse and drag him through the ground until he finally says that the man they are looking for has gone east. Then, Ketchum kills Brannigan instead of setting him free. At the same time, Henry McCarty is working on his farm with his son Wyatt, who is about 15 years old. Henry was born in New York and lived there until he became a farmer in Oklahoma. He lost his wife to tuberculosis, which was sad, but her brother Al helps him out a lot and is like an uncle to Wyatt. Their life is calm and happy. The only thing that makes them fight is that Wyatt wants to travel and learn how to shoot a gun, but Henry won't let him. It's still early in the day when they see a lost horse with a bloody saddle and Noah Eider walking by. While Wyatt takes the scared animal back to the farm, Henry takes his own horse and goes to look around. He finds a man lying on the ground, unconscious. Curry has been shot in the shoulder, so Henry uses some mud and a handkerchief to cover the wound. Then he finds a gun and a satchel full of money, which tells him there's trouble going on that he doesn't want to be a part of, but he only takes a few steps away before he feels bad for the man. So he goes back, picks up everything, and takes Curry back to the farm with him after getting rid of any evidence that they were there. With Wyatt's help, they put Curry on a bed and took care of his wound. When it gets dark, Henry takes the gun and the satchel with the money and hides them in a secret part of his closet. He doesn't know that Wyatt is watching him through the space under the door. The next morning, Henry decides that if they don't take out the bullet, the wound won't get better, so he'll go to town to get a doctor. But before he leaves, he ties Curry to the bed and puts the knife he uses to cut the rope on the nightstand. Wyatt goes to Henry's closet after his dad leaves to check out the hidden compartment. After seeing the money in the satchel, he grabs the gun and takes it outside to practice shooting at a bottle, but it takes him a few tries to hit his target. Back at home, Curry hears gunshots while he sleeps and dreams about the night his house burned down and his family was killed while the person who did it told him to keep his head down. Shortly after that, Wyatt comes back to put the gun back in the closet. While he's there, he opens a box that Henry had hidden in the closet a long time ago. Inside, he finds another gun and a lot of newspaper articles about different crimes. Henry finds out that Ketchum and his men have been following the trail Curry left behind when he went to town. Stillwell is such a good tracker that he can tell when Curry's tracks have been covered up. This lets the other two people know that their target is working with someone else. When they hear noises in the tall grass, these men shoot, but Henry has already run away by the time they catch up to him. Back on the farm, Wyatt notices that one of the ropes around Curry's hands is kind of loose and that his other hand has been covered with a blanket. When Wyatt takes that blanket off, he finds that the rope is gone, so Curry stops pretending to be asleep and breaks free. Grabbing the knife from the nightstand, he jumps on Wyatt and says he doesn't want to hurt him, he just wants his satchel back. At that moment, Henry comes back and kicks Curry off of his son. He then punches Curry until he loses consciousness again. Then, Curry is tied to a chair and woken up. Henry decides that it is too dangerous to go to town to find a doctor, so he uses a heated knife to take the bullet out of Curry's wound while he asks some questions. Curry says that he is a lawman and that Henry and Wyatt should leave before it's too late as he wriggles and cries in pain. The bullet is taken out, but Ketchum and his men show up outside the house before Henry can ask some questions. When Henry goes to get Curry's gun, he can smell that it has already been fired, so he reloads it before going outside. Ketchum says he is a sheriff and his partners are his deputies. He then says that they are looking for Curry, a dangerous criminal and killer who is also pretending to be a sheriff. Ketchum is interested in Henry, so he starts to ask him about his personal life. When he hears that Henry's last name is McCarty, he becomes especially interested because there was a criminal with the same last name many years ago. Henry tells them he has no family, so it can't be a relative, and he hasn't seen anyone who looks like Curry, so he sends them away. Before he leaves, Ketchum tells them to make sure their doors are locked tonight. Then, Henry goes back to the house and slaps Wyatt for using the gun. Wyatt only wanted to try it out because he was the only boy in the area who had never been taught how to shoot a gun, so he had to teach himself. Henry slaps him again for it, so Wyatt insults him and calls him worthless, saying that Henry will be left alone to die because he'll leave the farm as soon as he can. Henry goes to question his prisoner again because he doesn't want to think about how much that hurt. Curry says that he is the real sheriff and that the three men are bank robbers who killed Curry's deputies and stole their badges. He was hurt while getting the money back, so he passed out and fell off his horse while trying to get away. He woke up here on the farm later. Curry doesn't know why Ketchum didn't shoot Henry, but he is sure that they will be back. While this is going on, Ketchum and his men talk about what to do. They don't believe Henry and don't understand why he's helping a stranger. They think he might have been promised some of the money. Dugan doesn't understand why they didn't shoot him when there were three of them and he was alone, so Ketchum tells him something strange is going on. He doesn't think Henry is doing this for the money, and he didn't really hold the gun like a farmer. First, they need to find out more, so Dugan will watch over the farm while Ketchum and Stillwell go rent some guns and go see Al. When night comes, Henry tells Wyatt to go inside before he finishes his farm work because it's too dangerous to stay out this late. Later, Henry gives Curry some soup, which makes Curry complain that he is still tied up. Henry asks Curry about his past so he can decide if he can trust him. Curry tells him about all the people he worked and lived with, and Henry knows some of their names from his travels. He also says he's sorry for jumping on Wyatt. He says he was scared and confused because he woke up in a strange place. Henry's face looks familiar, but he says he has never met Curry before as he decides to at least free one of his hands. Then, Henry puts his gun on the table and goes to get another drink. This is a test to see if Curry will take it, but he doesn't. Curry, on the other hand, keeps telling Henry stories from his childhood, like the time he saw Billy the Kid get shot. Curry heard Billy's voice in his dream earlier. Henry finally decides to trust Curry after hearing his stories and seeing him not grab the gun. He frees Curry's other hand, gives him back his gun, and tells him to leave his house before the bad guys come back. But they can't talk about it anymore because Dugan suddenly starts shooting at them through the window. Curry shoots back, and when Wyatt comes to see what's going on, a bullet just misses his arm. Still in pain from his wound, Curry passes out. Henry grabs his gun as Dugan sneaks under the house and shoots through the floor every time Henry moves. Henry comes up with a plan. He gives his son the gun and teaches him how to shoot. Then he throws a book on the floor to trick Dugan into shooting in one direction while he runs in the other. Henry goes outside with his gun and starts shooting under the house until Dugan comes out and gets shot in the leg. Henry jumps on him and tries to get him to say something, but Dugan won't say anything, so Henry kills him. After seeing a gang mark on Dugan's skin, he feeds the body to the pigs to get rid of it. After that, Henry takes care of Wyatt's wound while avoiding his son's questions about his past. Wyatt doesn't think his father respects him, and Henry can't expect Wyatt to respect him back. After checking on Curry, who is still having dreams about the fire, Henry takes his gun outside and waits for the worst to happen. Al goes bird hunting in the morning, which makes it easy for Ketchum and Stillwell to find him. They want to know more about Henry, but Al won't answer their questions, and when he tries to defend himself, he gets knocked out. When they get back to the farm, Henry and Wyatt help Curry get ready to leave. Curry, on the other hand, can barely walk, let alone ride a horse, so he tells them to go while he stays behind to finish up. Wyatt also wants to stay and defend his home, but Henry agrees with Curry and gets his son ready to leave. When they get outside, however, they are in for a nasty surprise. Ketchum and Stillwell are back with a group of hired guns. When the father and son go back inside, Ketchum makes them an offer. If they give him Curry, he'll let them leave without hurting them. Since Henry won't agree, Ketchum goes one step further and tells him that they've hurt and bleeding Al in their hands. Henry is so angry that he grabs his rifle and gives it to Wyatt. He tells Wyatt to stay inside, stay away from the window, and only shoot if he has to. Henry ignores Curry's pleas to turn himself in and goes to talk to Ketchum. Ketchum admits he isn't a sheriff and is dying to know who Henry really is. Ketchum offers to trade Al for Curry, but Henry turns him down. Since neither Henry nor Al will tell any secrets, Ketchum kills Al right away. This makes Wyatt come outside and start shooting, so Henry drags him back inside as the gun hits Curry on the leg as he walks by the window. Henry tells Wyatt to keep his head down after scolding him for acting without thinking. Curry finally puts two and two together when he hears these words that match his dream and realizes that Henry's real name is Billy the Kid and that he didn't die in the fire, he just escaped. Henry doesn't pay any attention to him. Instead, he focuses on finding his old gun and holster so he can go outside and start shooting after just a few words. Henry kills a few gang members with his steady aim before going back to the house through the window. This makes a big enough hole for Curry to also kill a few men. As the other men start to circle the house, Henry grabs a knife and leaves through the back door. He sneaks up on two thieves and stabs them before hiding under the house and shooting a third. Then he runs into Stillwell, who also tries to use his knife, but Henry kills him before Stillwell can even move. Ketchum is the only one left. He hides behind the pigpen and hits Henry on the shoulder. Henry runs into the woods to make Ketchum follow him. Both men shoot at each other from behind trees, but Henry is better and hits Ketchum in the leg and shoulder. Then Henry gets closer, and Ketchum gets off one last shot before Henry kills him for good. Even so, Henry's wounds aren't too bad, so as soon as he gets back to the farm, he goes to Curry for help. When Henry rips Curry's sleeve off to get a better look at his arm, he finds a shocking surprise. Curry has the same gang mark as Dugan, and he shoots Henry for seeing it. Curry didn't really lie, because he admits that he was a sheriff, but a bad one. He and his deputies had worked with Ketchum before, but they heard that Ketchum was going to kill them on their last job, so Curry tried to get away, and that's how everything started. Henry is in a lot of pain, but he is not yet dead, and Curry wants to be the one to kill Billy the Kid. But Wyatt comes and kills him before he can shoot. Henry tells him it's too late to get a doctor for his father, so he wants to say a few things to his son before he dies. Wyatt will hear a lot of stories about Billy the Kid when he goes out into the world, so Henry wants him to know that only half of them are true. He says he hasn't always been a good person, and he doesn't believe in redemption. All this time, he's just been trying to feel better by raising a good kid. Henry doesn't think he belongs in this new world, but Wyatt does, he's sure. Wyatt buries his father next to his mother after he cries over his death. Once he's ready emotionally, he packs up his things and rides his horse away from the farm, just as he's always wanted to do. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more and hit the like button to help me out, and also leave a comment if you want me to explain your favorite film. Until next time, take care.